Hello, how's all my night owls doing tonight? You're not gonna believe what I just did. I was sitting there for like 5 minutes just talking. I was like saying, hey, Ginger Ashley, hey, Gooch, hey, Andrea. I was just saying hey to everybody. And then I was like, well, maybe they can't hear me. So I'm messing with my mic and trying to figure out what's going on with it. And it's like, well, maybe they just don't feel like talking tonight, right? So I'm like, well, so I talked all about this wine, and then I looked over there, and I hadn't went live yet. So I was sitting there talking to you guys while I was still back in the waiting room. Yeah. Hello, Nay. Hello, Tiger Girl. How are you all doing tonight? Well, the story I told in the waiting room just now, when I thought all of you were listening to me, was I don't know how many of you may have been in the members only live the other night, but I held up this bottle of wine that I had gotten at Walmart, and it's called 19 Crimes, and I got it because it had the little prisoner guy on it, and it told a story, and I was going to make a video about it. Well, tonight I'm like, well, I'm just going to open it. What the hey? I'm just going to open it because I wasn't going to open it. I actually just bought it for the bottle. So I just opened it. Let me tell you, don't buy it. It tastes, oh my God. Like, just don't. Nope. Unless you're going to buy it for the bottle. If you're going to buy it for the bottle, go for it because it's a very cool bottle. But don't buy it if you plan to drink it. It is what we used to call in the 80s rock gut. It's nasty. So I didn't actually look to see if anyone else was having a live. I should have. I usually do. Yeah, that's my dog. He's outside giving it. See, there's the neighbor has a dog, and our dog likes to go out of the fence and go over there and play with him because the neighbor doesn't keep their dog in a fence. Well, we do because we have a fenced in yard, and I'm always terrified he's going to get hurt. So I just don't let him run. And he always wants to go over there and play with that other dog. So they just bark at each other through the fence. Hello, Karen. How are you doing tonight? But yeah, I didn't look to see if anyone else was having a live, and I feel really bad if they are. I'm sorry. I don't like bouncing in on anyone. Normally, I'll look before I do it. And just to be honest, that's why I don't do them that much, because I don't want to jump in front of someone else that's having one, and I just don't like to do that. I don't think that's cool. So I don't do that, but I didn't look tonight because I was just like, I don't want to read. I don't feel like reading, although we're almost finished with that book, guys. Almost. We're getting very near the end of it. And even with the discovery that I've been reading since last summer, we're even getting pretty close to the end of that. So just didn't feel like reading. I was like, well, let's just do a pop-up live, heck, let's just talk about some of this stuff's going on. Did any of you see the new playlist that I put out today? And if so, what do you think about that? I was hoping it was something that was going to maybe pick up. Good deal. Thank you, Gooch. With the little owl. I love owls. That's my spirit animal. I am such a night owl. Bad. Oh, yeah. Kim on the way out. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been hearing about that now for like a week. And I'm like, well, I didn't want to really talk about it because I didn't know for certain, what the actual gist of it was, even though I had reached out to some of the family to ask them, I wasn't getting a reply, and I don't know why. But then I hear that Ronnie's in rehab. So, but I don't get that. How's he in rehab and in Colorado? There would be absolutely no reason why he would choose a rehab in Colorado across the country if he's having some kind of issue. Why not do it in North Carolina? That just, I don't know. My dogs are gonna, I'm sorry if they get annoying, but that's just what they do. Hence all the editing I have to do on my videos. I think my internet's going to be really laggy because when I talk here in StreamYard, I can see that it's given a very big lag over to YouTube. So if I'm kind of late replying to your comments, that's because I'm not getting them until as soon as I see them, I will reply to them. But yeah, the new playlist that I put out there, it seems like YouTube is not a fan of it whatsoever. I don't really get that, as some of you may have watched the videos I actually put out there that YouTube came at me and was like, oh, wait a minute, these go against guidelines. They're talking about violence. Well, yeah, that's what true crime is. So, then you have to take them down, butcher them up, seriously, cut out anything that has any kind of word that even sounds like it's violent. It's just ridiculous. I mean, what is the true crime community to do, I mean, that's what it is. It's crime. So Karen, I think it's my internet. I really do. I see myself talking on the StreamYard, but then when I look over at YouTube, it looks like it's given a delay for me. And that's why I think it's given a delay for me to get y'all's comments. Very frustrating, to say the very least. So yeah, I'm sure you're commenting, but I can't see it. The last comment I see is, oh, there's one. Did you say Ronnie Watts is in rehab? That is a rumor. That is what is being said. And it's also being said that Jamie and Chris, the prison actually had to cut off their Zoom call recently, like within the last few days, because Jamie was so mad and upset with Chris that the conversation got so heated that the prison had to stop it. That something about Jamie is very upset that Chris isn't taking it more seriously. That Ronnie is in rehab. I'm not sure what Chris can actually do. I don't know. Drugs or alcohol? I'm hearing alcohol. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if it's true, because there's also rumor that he is also in Colorado. So why would he be in Colorado in rehab? It just doesn't make sense. if he's going to go to rehab, why would he do it across the country? Why not just do it in North Carolina? I'm not sure, Monica, if he has filed the 35C. There's several things going around about that as well. Like I said, I did reach out, but I haven't gotten a reply yet. Some saying that he's not going to file a 35C because he is scared, because he would have to go back to Colorado if he filed it, because he's still under Colorado jurisdiction. And he has been told, now this is all what I've heard, he has been told that there is a hit on him in the Colorado prison system. It's actually something, Tiger Girl, this is actually something that I have seen around Facebook and Twitter, that he is in rehab. The people that has said this says that it is coming from a very reliable source, which I'm assuming is probably family, because the family does talk to some of the creators. We know that. I mean, that's no secret, you know. I mean, myself, I've spoken with the family on several occasions. However, I haven't been able to get any of this confirmed yet because I haven't gotten a reply yet, which is, again, kind of strange. I do know if you're in a rehab, if it's like in the early days of the rehab, then you can't have phone calls and letters and things like that. So I don't know if that's why I hadn't gotten a reply. Maybe it really is true that he's in a rehab, but how could he be in a rehab and in Colorado with KK? You know, how could he be doing both at the same time? I don't know. As soon as I find out the truth behind this hearsay, because right now that's what it is in my opinion, because we don't have any proof of it, I will definitely let you all know. Janice says she knows where some of the rumors are coming from. Plenty of people travel out of state to go to rehab, but he's had trauma in Colorado, so that's what would be confusing to me about him going to that state for help. Absolutely agree, Coach. And you know, that is a really, really good point. Most of the time, in order for rehab to actually work, and if you've ever watched these intervention shows or anything like that, you know that they do actually take you out of your state, you know, to go to rehab. So that's a very good point. However, just like you said, there is trauma for him in Colorado. And so, yeah, I don't think Colorado would have been an option or a good option for rehab. Hello, Eric. I'm so glad you're here, hon. First live. I don't do them much, really, I don't, except the members' lives on Wednesdays. And the reason I don't is because I look and it seems like there's someone else in the true crime community pretty much all the time having a live. And I never want to step on anybody's feet. And I never want my subscribers to be like, well, I subscribe to this one and this. I don't want nobody to have to choose. So I don't like stepping on toes at all. Yeah, I think it would be the last place he would want to be too. Especially to go to something like rehab whereas the whole point of being there is to get healed and get help. And it looks like Colorado would just bring forth memories, and I don't think that would be healing. So, Jenna, do you have a YouTube group on? If you do, you're more than welcome to drop your link, or, I didn't even know you had a channel. I would like to see your live. Hello, Stardust. I have not seen you in forever. Where have you been, girl? Oh, okay. I see you've got a Facebook group. Okay. I believe I am a member, more than likely, of your Facebook group. What is the name of your group? You can put the name of it in here and, people can go check it out. Yeah, I'm sure I am. I'm a member of a lot of those groups, but I don't really get to interact in many, and even my own. Without Dave G, our Unjustified Facebook group would probably be having cobwebs. I do the best I can, but this channel takes up a lot of time. Hey, the Weird Mom. I love that name. Yes, that's cool. Hello, Julie. How are you doing tonight? We got some coming in, even though I didn't schedule anything. Just like a spur of the moment kind of thing. Oh, yeah, let's talk. Yes. I am in that group. Absolutely. That's a good group, y'all, by the way. That really is. Very unbiased group. Keep up with the latest. That's a very good group to join. Hello, Angelina. I hope you're feeling better too, hon. I know you've been feeling bad and freezing. Oh my God. Bad weather. Yeah, that's true, Coach. That to me, that would be defeating the purpose of rehab, is to do it in Colorado. So I agree. Hello, Julie. Just whatever and whenever. Whatever the chat decides to talk about, that's what we're going to talk about. I'm not sure if you guys heard me earlier when I was talking about the new playlist that I've made about the capital punishment and going over those things. Well, it seems YouTube literally hated my idea of doing that. I had to actually delete 3 of the videos I put up, and then I had to take one of them and just cut it all to pieces, really, and just take out any word in it that might have sounded bad. Put it back up, and they're still not happy with it, but they let it slide. YouTube is not a fan of true crime. If you talk about violence or almost anything like that on YouTube, they're not happy with it at all, and they come against you. And I see many channels that doesn't have a problem with it, but some, they just will not allow it. I don't get it. I just don't know. I thought the whole capital punishment and learning about that and the people on it and their crimes and their backgrounds and things like that would be not only interesting, but educational at the same time. However, YouTube didn't see it that way. So I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to work that playlist, but I'm still going to try to make it happen because it's very interesting, in my opinion. Yeah, you're right, Angelina. It seems like that is what the people want. Thank you so much, Renee. I really appreciate that. Hello, Paula. Good to see you in here, hon. Now, I finally got Paula's moderator status set. I really appreciate that, Renee. I'm glad you are. YouTube's not real true crime friendly at all. Hey, Ashley. That's my niece, y'all. My internet niece. Florida bass fishing. How you doing? I want to go fishing this summer. I haven't been in so long. I love going fishing. I don't eat seafood. No. But I like going fishing. What is an obsession, Tiger Girl? Ain't that the truth? Oh my God. It's like, it is. We're talking about anything and everything. Florida, anything and everything. No kidding, weird mom. They will allow some of the craziest stuff. And what I don't get is some of the channels can talk about anything, right? And they're good. Me, I say the word violence or abuse. Man, I'm hit. That goes against the guidelines, So, oh my God. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Gooch. This is a social media platform, so you would think. I don't get it. Do they want a world of rainbow glitters and unicorns? Because the real world isn't that way. And the real world has a history of some bad things, right? So when we want to get out there and we want to look into the history and we want to share it with you guys and talk about it together, oh, then we're terrible. We're terrible and we're not accepted. Hey, I've learned a lot. Good to see you, hon. Glad to see you here. More night owls than we thought, y'all. Yeah, Florida. I wonder where she's from. Yeah, I don't think she's from Alabama. That would be cool though. Yeah, we should do that sometime. Right, Tiger Girl. I have looked at this case from one side. I can almost bet that most of us out here know more about this case than Rourke does. I'm just saying. Thank you, Karen. I get a lot about my accent and my voice, and it goes both ways, but the majority is all the nice people that says nice things. And believe me, I get the ones that really throw down on me as well. But the majority is very nice, and I truly appreciate that. My old channel, I really I never talked on it. I just typed, and type. And one day one of my subscribers was like, and I guess in a sense, she was trying, I don't know what she was trying to do, but I didn't take it as being mean. I was like, she's right. But she said, if I wanted to read, I'd go to the library. And I'm like, I really took that in, and I'm like, she's right. Why would she want to just sit there and read a bunch of typing, right? She's right. And put your earbuds in, go do something, clean the house, whatever you want to do. You don't want to sit there and read. You can go to the library. So I just started talking, even though I had this self-esteem thing with like, yeah, everybody's going to give me hell. I know they will because of my accent. Because everybody I hear on here has a cool accent. Well, I don't consider mine too cool. So, but it worked out. And everybody's so nice. Not everybody. I still have the few, but hey, the good outweighs the bad. Kim, I really feel 12 jurors wouldn't convict Chris of first-degree murder. Conspiracy to murder, yes. I just don't think he killed anyone or took anyone to Survey 319. Didn't have time to bury and dump. He did have very limited time. That is very true. He got there at 6:53 and his crew arrived around 7:30, which says he had very limited time. So I would absolutely agree with you there. Totally. It would take 12 jurors, and I'm sure it's that way in Colorado as well. In Alabama, the judge can overrule the jury on a death penalty. But there's very few cases. Alabama may actually be the only one like that the judge does not overrule what the jury says. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that, honey. I've learned a lot. Thank y'all. See, y'all are so nice. So sweet. I was talking about a salad in the book I was reading, The Perfect Father. And there was a part in it that it said that Shanann had the chicken Caesar salad for dinner, in Arizona. The last night, that was her last dinner. She had a chicken Caesar salad. Everybody said, and I probably did. I haven't even went back and listened to it myself because I know I did, and I'm going to be embarrassed if I even hear myself saying it. But they said I said a chicken Caesar salad. Oh my God. Let's see. I think his accomplices killed Shanann and the girls. Yes, very quite possible. This case is so who knows. Chris confessed. His second confession is what most everyone thinks is the closest to being the truth. I'm still undecided on several things about this case. Renee, I've really never looked into the Vallow case. That is a case that my sister really wanted me to look into. But the reason I didn't is because everybody was like hitting that case. So I just never really went into it. Yeah, that's true, Weird Mom. We do have that in Alabama. I'm not even sure. It could be the only state that does that, but it's definitely here that a judge can overrule the jury. And if Nicole Atkinson hadn't went to Shanann's doctor that morning, NK would have been caught in the Watts home. She snuck out at 12:42 when the vibrant alarm detected motion in the garage. You know what? I've always thought that myself. 12:42. And then I've had people come at me saying, no, that was the inside door alarm. Well, either way, it was a door alarm for 12:42. Inside, outside, I don't care. Why was the doors closing at that time? You know, somebody was closing them. And yeah, I mean, you know, it's no secret who I thought it was too. Is the audio not working again? Great. I'm here. Okay, can y'all hear me now? Okay, good. Thank you, Jana. That Perfect Father book, what do y'all think about that book? Like, I liked it. I really liked the book. I thought the book was pretty good myself. Thank you, Paula. I'm glad it's good, hon. I think the Perfect Father book is good. I mean, I know a lot of people hate it because it does have the what side of the story, but I think it's a good book. I think this author did an amazing job. This author actually emailed me about my synopsis of the book. He actually said the next time he writes a book and he needs an American narrator, he's going to holler at me, which I think's very cool. Renee, I'm going to do that. I'm going to check out that book. I mean, that case. I really need to. Cato's books, I'm going to be honest, I've got them. But I have never completed them. I've never completed reading them. I did think about doing a synopsis of them on my channel, but I've never completed reading them because the first book I got, it was just the way it was written. You just couldn't keep up. You just didn't know what was going on, really. And then the second book, I started trying to read it, but I don't know. Chick don't believe in paragraphs, you know. She writes one long thing. And I'm not putting her down. It could be her editor. It has to be her editor. Her editor should have fixed that. But Shanann was in a fetal position from being inside a trunk for a number of hours and rigor mortis setting in. She wouldn't have been in a trunk long enough for rigor mortis to set in a trunk. You know, my friend Tam, that's exactly what she thinks as well. She thinks she was taken out the back and put in a car, in a trunk. what kills me is the 14th, they were very well aware of Nicole. We all know that. I mean, they were aware of her. And at the 14th, they were all considered missing. You know, they hadn't been found. They were still missing. There's children involved. If they knew about Nicole and they were staking out her house, and they were, then why didn't they go ahead and search her house to see if possibly the children could be there? I've always wondered why. Why not? Because when it comes to children, any possibility should be looked into. Do the majority of people here think NK was involved? I follow the case closely, but I think it was CW alone. My thoughts is NK absolutely was involved at some point, form, fashion, whether it be covering up information, having more knowledge, obstructing justice, planting seeds, or even scopolamine. I do believe that Nicole was a hell of a lot more involved than just being the innocent mistress. I do. That's my thoughts. And until it's been proven to me, and not by her word, because she already has way too many inconsistencies in her word, then I will always believe that. No one was killed in the house. She was ambushed in the basement when she went to see Chris, and probably chloroform used to knock her out. I entertained chloroform, but on that theory, my head went way away from chloroform and to E85 fuel because of the gas can. I made a whole video about that. So if she was actually, knocked out with something, my mind went totally away from chloroform and into E85 because I really studied the E85 thing. I'm going to put the link in the chat if anybody would like to come up and talk with me. If not, that's cool too, but if somebody wants to, that's awesome. It's always nice to have a couple of opinions. E85, Paula, I have a video on my channel about the gas can, and I think it's titled, "What is Chris Doing with That Gas Can?" And I went into it pretty good, and I actually showed that Chris's truck used E85 fuel. Anybody with NASCAR knowledge or anything like that was a very, very much knew about E85. And E85 will disintegrate like in the earth. Say, for example, if it was on a face or something like that, it would disintegrate, so there would be no trace of it. However, the fumes and the vapors, very deadly. Oh yeah, here in Alabama, you can imagine, Ashley, she would have been arrested on suspicion simply for the fact that she destroyed her text messages. And when asked, why did you do that? Her answer was, because I wanted everything to do with him out of my life, like because of the lie and the hurt. I couldn't stand to think about him. I couldn't stand to see anything about him. Okay, then why in the hell did you keep his clothes? Why did you keep his clothes and the handwritten cards that he had given to you? Why did you keep that? You delete text, but you keep personal items? Makes no sense. Yeah, crazy mama. They delete everything, and she tells them to delete everything. And her excuse for deleting everything was she wanted anything to do with him out of her life. But yet, she keeps his clothes, personal cards he's written her, until the 16th when she decides to give them to Kobach. Yeah, I mean, well, Rourke himself even said she hindered the investigation by deleting those texts. I mean, she's sending him nude photos on the 14th. Um, oh, yeah, she's absolutely a liar. Rourke is a real piece of work. He just is. Yes, Dee. And Nicole asked Chris to delete all messages between him and her. But he said he didn't delete them all. So there was some still on his phone, but if he did delete any, we don't know what they were. It should be obstruction of evidence, obstruction of justice. Absolutely. Not even sure why her dad was allowed in the interviews. I mean, that's a quadruple murder case. There should have been gag orders thrown up everywhere on that case. But yet they're just letting daddies walk in off the street. I had an interesting comment in one of my videos today, and I know all you guys has probably heard this as well. But they said that they had studied anatomy and had a degree or whatever. And they said judging from her shoulders, forehead, all these different things, they pointed out several, including a receding hairline, that Nicole was born a male. They truly believe that she was born a male, and that's why you can't find her past. You can't find anything on her up to a certain point. They mentioned the receding hairline, they mentioned the breast implants, the way the shoulders are proportioned, all kinds of things they were mentioning, and guaranteed me that Nicole was born a male. Bye, Angelina. Thank you for being here, hon. Good to see you. No, her dad should not have been in there running the show. That was ridiculous. One of the things that's always been in the back of my head, and I don't hear a lot of people talk about it. I hear the explosions, and I hear voodoo, and I hear lots of things, that's possibilities, right? Anything is with this case. But one of the things that's always been in the back of my head is scopolamine. Way back on my other channel, I started talking about that. And the more I looked into it, I was like, that's it. For a while, I was convinced myself that was it. It was scopolamine. But, and I was going off of some of the things like Chris saying, I don't know what happened. I don't remember what happened. Somebody else had my hands. I had no thought of my own. How can I save my kids? All this stuff. Yeah, devil's breath, crazy moment. That's right. All of that in conjunction with her religion, the things she done, being a geologist, all of that just kind of wrapped into scopolamine. And it stayed in the back of my head. And it's still there. It's still there. In my opinion, it's still a possibility. I've learned a lot. I don't think Nicole is ugly. I don't think she's a bad looking girl, really. She's average. I don't think she's nasty looking or nothing like that at all. But, her and Shanann was polar opposites. Shanann was really classy, girly girl, kind of high maintenance like. But either way, Nicole, I don't think she was ugly or anything like that. Totally polar opposite from Shanann. That's definitely. I've never heard of Devil's Breath. What is it? I made a video on it. I have an Exposing the Mistress series. A lot of you may have already looked at it. But the one, Exposing the Mistress, part 2B, goes into her religion. It goes into scopolamine. Very interesting. Devil's Breath is a powder, and it is a plant. And you ground the seed of the plant up, and you can either blow it in someone's face or put it in a drink. It is absolutely has no taste. And when this powder or drug hits your system, goes into your head, you have no control whatsoever of your actions. You're pretty much like a robot that takes orders. The CIA used to use it as a truth serum. It was used in experiments in the military. It is a very potent drug. And here's the thing. Backpackers, geologists, and these kind of people know exactly how to get it and what it does. The Gaia religion, which was Nicole's religion, and I explain all this in the video, one of the things that they actually use for their quote-unquote rituals is scopolamine. Like back when an Indian chief, when he would pass away, they would give his wife a drink of tea, and they would put a little scopolamine in it. And when she drank it, and they would tell her to join her husband, she would walk down into the grave with him and lay down beside him and do exactly as she's told. and she would be buried alive with him. That is just how it worked in the Indian religion back then. So, I mean, this is all true and fact. Yeah, crazy mama, it can destroy you. Literally. I mean, you can be given this drug and you can be told to do anything. It doesn't matter what it is. People has been robbed blind with this drug, and then they would wake up and they would have nothing. And then they would actually go to their bank and be like, why is my account drained? And they would show them on security camera, they are the one that punched in their code, took all their money out of their ATM, and handed it over to someone else. They had no memory of it. Zero memory. It's out of your system within like 4 hours. Very crazy drug. And even if it wasn't involved in this case, it's a real good drug to know about because it's super, super. It's called the world's scariest drug. On YouTube, you can type in world's scariest drug in the search, and it'll give you all about it. I mean, it's there. I've learned a lot. I said that too. It's like she wanted to be completely opposite as Shanann. Totally opposite. I said that in my Exposing the Mistress series too. Yeah, it's a terrible drug. Horrible. It was said that like sex traffickers, they would put it like on these flyers and they would put it, say, you know, when you're in Walmart or something and when you come out and maybe somebody's put a flyer under the windshield of your car, right? And then you get the flyer and you're looking at it. That flyer had scopolamine powder on it. So at that point, the trafficker is sitting somewhere near. They see you've been exposed, and then they walk over to you and tell you, go get in that van. And you will. You will just, like a robot, taking for that whatever amount of time, you will do exactly anything you're told to do. Literally. See, Florida, that was my question. Because when I kept hearing Chris say, I don't remember, I can't remember, I didn't even have a thought of my own. Well, Chris is hard to believe. Like, he lies like nobody's business, right? But why couldn't I just let go? And all this stuff he was saying, and it was like, I don't know, it's like he was almost having flashbacks. I don't know. But he did continue to say, I can't remember, I can't remember. It doesn't make sense to me either. All this crazy stuff. So that's why my mind went to the scopolamine thing. And then I started searching it. And the more I searched it, the more I seen it like being puzzle pieces that were missing. Hello, little lady. I sure didn't think you was awake tonight. You're usually out by 11. Good night, honey. Yeah, he said he was like someone took him over. Also, do y'all remember also he said, I didn't even have a thought that was my own. I mean, that one little sentence there, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I know the premeditation thing, that's what gets me too. It's like, I just don't know. At the same time, you can be dosed with a little at a time. You know, Nicole said that she could be talking to Chris and he would fall asleep mid-sentence. Remember her saying that? And then he would just wake up and carry on the same conversation, right? Did you ever notice that Nicole is the only one that ever said that? Shanann never said that. In-laws never said that. His family, his friends, nobody ever said that but her. So what made it that when he was with her, he would fall asleep mid-sentence, but with nobody else, he done that? I don't know. Hello, Nikki. How you doing? He's changed his story so many times you can't believe anything he says. Now that he's been in jail for 2 years and over covering up for Nicole, he wants to go to trial. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's saying that it's not what he thought he would. I think Chris just wanted it to be over and done with, and that's why. I also kind of think, in a sense, that his defense team was building something up, and they had him a good defense going. I feel this way. But I feel that his defense, what they had going for him, would have meant that he would have had to admit that maybe Nicole knew more than what she was saying, and Nicole would get summonsed. And I feel like he could have promised her that he would make sure she was never had to be involved or mentioned or anything like that. I mean, he wouldn't do that to her, whatever. So I feel like his defense said, well, look, if you don't want to go with the defense we've got that will help you, then you're going to, you might as well take a plea deal if they'll give you one, and that's your only options. And I think with him, if that's the possibility, not wanting to go against her or whoever, then that's why they asked for the plea. Because his defense, I feel like we're getting sick of him saying, no, I'm not going to talk against her. I'm not going to talk against him. No, I don't want them summoned. I don't want them have to be in trial. Well, what's his defense supposed to do, man? If they build a defense for him, somebody's going to have to sit in that witness stand, in that stand up there, but he didn't want him to. And I feel like I know who he didn't want to have to pull into it, and that would be Nicole. And possibly Jim, because Nicole damn sure didn't want him involved either. Yeah, the DNA was never even, um, it was never even tested. I mean, they took lots of stuff out of that house, lots of stuff. And then the rakes and the shovels and all this other stuff. They could have, even vomit, y'all, come on. They could have took all of that and used it as DNA, but no DNA was ever tested because he took the plea. That's true. There was never any of it tested. Which is odd. This is a quadruple murder case. Even if he took the plea, man, why not test it? There's still unidentified prints in this case. Unidentified, don't belong to Chris or Shanann or the kids. Jim is definitely an odd one. I mean, just looking at his pictures and looking at, I don't know, he's definitely an odd one. Yeah, it was cleared. The house was cleared the same night he confessed. Even the discovery says on the 14th that Baumhofer already knew Chris did it. I mean, even the discovery says that. You know, that he had done zeroed in on Chris. They were looking at nothing else. Nothing. Yeah, NK was not fingerprinted, and I don't get that either. She was just the mistress. Well, so, okay. He lived with her for 6 weeks. He was with her before he left. Everything was supposedly fine. Says Shanann's text, says all the friends, all this, everything was fine. But then when he got involved with her, whether it was premeditated or not, when he got involved with her, that is when he lost his damn mind. He literally lost his mind, turned on his family, and then look what he did. Now, if that isn't enough to make some suspicion, her vehicle was never checked. They did have the search warrants ready. Tammy Lee ordered them, and they were ready. Ironically, just minutes after they got finished getting these together and getting them ready to start serving them, Nicole calls. Yeah, and Chris was so easy, Florida. He was so easy to get him to confess. I'm telling you, you could get Chris to do or say anything. I swear you could. He is like easy to bluff. No one was killed before she came in the picture. And to start a new life, yeah, maybe, but that's extreme measures to go to start a new life for anybody. I mean, that is extreme measures. How in the world would he even think he could start a new life? What did he think? Why hasn't anybody ever asked him that? Anybody of power sitting in his face, like Tammy Lee and Coder and all of them, when they went to Wisconsin, why wasn't that asked? What did you think? How did you think you was going to get away with this? What was your plan? I know he would have probably lied, but it would have been interesting to hear it nonetheless. And yes, Florida, Chris has been known to do this before. And I'm not talking about the murder part. I'm not talking about that at all. What I am talking about is, think about this. Chris's people, who is the very most important in his life, he says his dad is his hero, right? It didn't cross Chris's eyes one bit to throw his dad to the curb when he first met Shanann. Here it even goes even deeper. When he went off to college and his dad was completely lost for whatever reasons and went on a cocaine binge or whatever. Here's the thing. Chris didn't even go visit them really when he was in college. He was like 120 miles away, not that far really, but he didn't even go visit them. He had a girlfriend when he was in college up there, and she was married, he said, but, whatever. He was the rebound. Either way, she was his girlfriend. They never met her. They have never met one of Chris's girlfriends except Shanann. Okay, when he got with Shanann, it was no secret that Shanann, Jamie, and Cindy wasn't the best of buddies, right? Just wasn't. Cindy questioning how in the hell Shanann could afford a house like that, 25 years old, with, I think, being a nanny at the time. Well, that's all Cindy knew about her at that point. That's all Chris had told her. Shanann is 25, she's a nanny, and she has a $500,000 home. Well, Cindy, and I'm not defending anybody here, I'm just saying Cindy is an accountant. So how does an accountant minds work? Money. So Cindy's first thought, how's she affording this being a nanny and 25 years old, right? Well, that was the original conflict between those two. And then it just escalated from there. And Cindy being this, I don't know, protective mother, whatever. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm not even getting into it. But Cindy questioned that. Shanann, Jamie, and Cindy did not get along. So what happened? They went to visit a friend of Shanann's in Colorado that Chris didn't even know her. Didn't even know her. They decided to move there. So Chris stays there. And she comes back for 6 months to sell the house. But Chris is staying with these people. And Chris had no problem ditching his hero, his best friend, his dad, then. And then there was this thing with the wedding and the invitations, and I'm not going to even get into that. You all already know the story. But what did Chris do then? He still didn't try to open any doors for his family to get back in his life. No. He completely ignored his family, and guess what? They didn't go to his wedding, but they did make attempts to call him, text him, talk to him about the wedding, and he would not reply to them. So with all that, they was like, well, then, I guess Chris don't want us to go too, whatever. So they didn't go. They didn't even talk to Chris again until Bella was born. Now, come on. Chris was not that awesome to his family either. He had no problem throwing them away, forgetting they existed when Shanann didn't like them or didn't want to be around them. Well, there you go with Nicole. Nicole obviously didn't want to be around Shanann. And from the way Nicole talked, even the kids, because Nicole was like, well, he's got kids though, She wasn't real big on kids. I don't know. Lord, I'm way behind on y'all's comments. Let me look at them for just a minute. Try to catch up. I'm sorry. Paula NK being born a male makes sense to me. Why does it? I know. I've heard that little theory so many times. Oh, she sounds like a man. She looks like a man. And I just, yeah, whatever. Never until that guy in the comments today, the way he explained it to me, and then the way he said, and you can't find a past on her. That's because she wasn't born a female. I was like, what? No. And then I got to thinking about the way he said it. The receding hairline, this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other. And you wouldn't find a past on that name because it was another name. So I don't know. It was a very interesting comment, to say the very least. Yeah, Sarah, that was terrible. That whole crime scene was contaminated. It just was totally contaminated. Yes, I think so too. Yes, I agree. Absolutely. That house should have been actually when he first got there and they were not able to get her to the door, answer a phone, or any of the such. After Chris ran in there, in my opinion, it should have just been the officer to go in there. They shouldn't have allowed everyone in there at that point because obviously something wasn't right. The officer and everybody had already been informed that this is not right. This is not like Shanann. Something's very wrong here. Well, then they knew something was wrong. So either she was in the house or something. Either way, it should have been only the officer and Chris went into that house. Period. That's one of the things I used to think in the beginning, Sarah, as well. I was like, I don't believe hardly anything he says. At the same time, he continues to talk about, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know what the hell happened, And then others has told me he don't know what happened. So that is what brought me to scopolamine. I mean, yeah, in the beginning, that's exactly why my mind went straight to scopolamine. Yeah, I mean, there's there's a very there's a definite closeness, yet distance with this family. There really is. And I mean, not to jump on any loops here, but I thought, his and his dad's relationship was a bit odder than even his and his mom's. I don't know. I don't know if y'all seen the interviews, but I thought it was just almost uncomfortable the way his dad sat there and rubbed his back for like an hour. I don't know. And didn't say a word. I, I just don't know. I found that to be odd. Yeah, I don't see how in the world he could have got her in that truck without us seeing him. And actually, didn't he say in his interview that he did walk around to the other side of the truck and bring her on through? Because if he did, we didn't see it. Yeah, it looks like everyone would have yelled their names, but they all went in there almost mute. Like nobody, not one of them screamed out her name. Nobody did. But then Chris was like, "I got to go check on Data, or I got to go get Data, or something," and he took off to the basement. But yeah, I thought that was very weird. That's the first thing everybody would. You'd walk in the door, hey, run up the stairs, literally run up the stairs. Who wouldn't, right? Run up there, opening the doors, saying their name at the same time. Everybody would, but that never happened. Yeah, I believe with Chris's version of events that it almost seems like he tries to drop hints, but he don't want to actually say it himself. Like, for example, he continued to mention that there was no cameras in the back of his house. He continued to mention the odd alerts he got for his garage door at 12:42. It's like he wants to drop subtle hints, but he don't want to actually tell anything. Yeah, I'm not gonna be doing all that, Sarah. That ain't even cool. I don't think that's cool at all. Won't be doing that. They do try to get us to YouTube every time we go in there and set up a live. There it is in big letters. Members only chat. Check members only chat. Do this to help your members. Yeah, ain't even gonna be doing that. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard that as well, Alyssa. I've heard that it was said that they couldn't release it because if it was too morbid or something, but there's a lot of stuff out there in the true crime world that's very, very morbid. And it was released. However, they say that some of this was sealed off. So I can't say either way because I don't know for certain. I can say for certain that if it was, that the Watts family didn't see it either. They just seen what we've seen. Now, I did hear that the Rosak family, Frankie said at one point that it was too morbid. And then there's screenshots of him again saying that we've seen everything. So I don't know. Yeah, nobody won. Nobody won in this situation right here. Nobody won. It was terrible. I mean, you have the ultimate victims and then you have the surviving victims. Nobody won here. I have heard that theory many, many times, Florida, and you know what? It makes sense. You know, it does make sense. Because dragging somebody out the front door and then him continuing to say, well, there's no cameras in the back, and it makes sense that that is a high likely. Oh yeah, I think he almost was. He really almost was. Like, Shanann was his first real relationship. The girlfriend that he had when he was in college, she was recently getting out of divorce. And he said himself that she was almost like a support, he was like a support for her, like a almost, it almost sounded more like a buddy thing they had going on. I don't know. But Shanann was his actual first real relationship. And when he got with Nicole, all this stuff that was fantasy, or maybe he had Googled around and looked at, and because she obviously Googled around and looked at a lot of stuff, he was actually able to do this, and he didn't know what to think. Yeah, he did say she made him those teas, and he had no clue what was in those teas, in him, God. What was in those teas? Like, it could have been no telling what was in them. Only thing she told him is they were just to detox his body. So he had no clue what was in them. Yeah, not one, not one. You're right, Alyssa, not one. And then you have some people out here that, and like Megan J, and I know a lot of you know her. She is convinced this is a total psyop. That is just didn't even happen, you know. And and the points she make will also make you think, because if you go and you Google Chris Watts in the Wisconsin prison, he's not there, and then there's the question about the death certificates and just many things, that. So that is one of the reasons why. However, I do believe those were sealed, and that's why none of the images or anything. And Chris had those sealed. Chris seen them. Chris seen everything that's in the discovery. He's seen, even in the motions I just read, or I am reading out, he's seen the autopsy reports. He saw the autopsy photos. And it's possible when he did see these, that's when he got spooked. It's like he did not want those shown in court, what he had did. It makes you wonder, but he did have those sealed. Absolutely, Alyssa, come up here and talk, hon. We'd love to hear you talk about it. I just put the link in there if anybody would like to come up. Yeah, I don't either, Ashley. I don't think there is either. I think we have seen, as far as the footages of Nate's, as far as the body cam footages, things like that, I agree with you. I think that we have seen all of that. I don't think any of that was cut up, but I don't believe, as far as the autopsy and the recovery, yeah, I think that's probably one of the only things too. Except, of course, all of NK's nudie pictures. I agree with you totally, Florida. I completely agree with you. There will be reasonable doubt all over the place. There will be. I agree. No, I haven't heard that one, Ashley. That's brand new to me. Yeah, there's nothing physical. This case was solved and done on circumstantial and Chris's own words. Yeah, his own words. Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely a juror would absolutely have to take that for what it is. But, at the same time, if the defense is also throwing out some hardcore, possibly physical evidence and DNA that he didn't act alone, that's my thing. I don't think Chris is innocent at all. I do not. At the same time, I still think he didn't act alone. And as far as someone actually doing it with their own hands or somebody else, that I'm on the fence about. But at the same time, Charles Manson didn't kill anyone with his own hands either, or he wasn't convicted of it. It was mind games. You know what I mean? The girl texting her boyfriend, I can't remember her name, Michelle, I think. Well, she didn't do it, but she planted seeds and she told him to do it. So at that point, you should be complicit, almost complicit if you're sitting there, especially if you know about a crime or it's going to happen, or even if you know afterwards what happened. You're supposed to tell. I mean, if you don't, it's a crime. Obstruction of justice. I agree. He's got what now? 4 confessions? I mean, I don't know. I've never thought that he didn't hurt Shanann. The girls, I've been on the fence about. And even that, if he did, I don't know, the scopolamine thing, I can't ever get that completely out of my head. No, she would. No. I mean, you're right. Shanann would have beat his ass. I personally think she would have if she wasn't asleep. Now, there was lots of makeup on her pillowcase, right? That was in the evidence. So if she was asleep and her head pushed down into the pillow face first, you know what I mean? But if she could get at him, yeah, I think she would tear him up. Oh yeah, he's not going to go anywhere. Chris is not getting out. Period. He just won 35C or not. In my opinion, if this 35C is granted, and I hope it is, because I'd love to see this go to trial. Because one, He's not going to get out, no matter what. But two, a trial could bring forth many unanswered questions if others were involved. But Chris ain't going nowhere. That's my opinion. Tell him I said thank you, Sarah. Detective Baumhover actually did send these to be tested. They actually ended up also getting her makeup bag from her parents that had took it to North Carolina with them. Her purple makeup bag. They brought it back to Colorado and gave it to Detective Baumhover. And at that point, he did send it off to be checked. Now, as far as if it was ever checked to match her makeup, I don't know. That I can't say. Yeah, and I know that, but at the same time, Frank Rosek said that she would have beat his ass. Frankie said she would have too. Lupus, I know, would have put her being weak and more fragile than usual, but I still think, and I don't know Shanann personally, but just from reading her texts, looking at her videos, she would have definitely fought with her last bit of anything she had left in her. I believe that. Well, Florida, her dad and Kay's dad actually asked in the interview that he was with her at, he actually asked, well, if he takes a trial, if he goes ahead and takes a plea, then it's not going to go to trial, will it? It'll just be over with. Now, he actually did say that to Kevin Kovac. So it makes you wonder why he would ask that, like on 3 days, 4 days after the murders. Why would he even ask that? And then all of a sudden, Chris does take a plea. Oh, yeah, he should have definitely had an attorney. But a lot of people think that if they say, I'm getting an attorney or I'm getting a lawyer, it makes them look more guilty. Some people think that way. And normally, that's people that is completely clueless about the legal system, totally clueless. Like you have people that's never, ever dealt or looked at the legal system whatsoever. And that's the first thing that would go through their mind. Like, I don't need a lawyer. I'm not guilty. Why do I need to pay a lawyer? But that's really not the way it works. But some people do think that if they know absolutely nothing about the legal system. Well, if you do think that way, for the love of God, use your rights, the right to remain silent. Because that's what it says, man. You have the right to remain silent. And the next line, that's the kicker. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Anything you say can and will be. Now, come on, they tell you up front. It ain't no secret there. Amen, girl. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they tell you up front in your Miranda rights, everything you say can and will be used against you. And believe me, they do. Oh, yeah, honey. Well, you got. What about the confessions killer, man? Oh, my God. What about the guy that come up and said he's the one that done this to John Benet Ramsey? He was telling them everything. Of course, his story wasn't adding up with the autopsy and the timeline and all this, right? So they figured out he was lying, but he was confessing to a murder. So there is false confessions. And the number one way to get a false confession is using the Reed technique. And that technique was used on Chris. Now, I'm not saying he gave a false confession. Don't think that's what I'm doing. But I am saying that that is one way that they do get them. They have to build on something. And so they'll use the Reed technique. Yeah, that's another thing too, Monica. That's what I was talking about with, I know he's seen the autopsy reports and the autopsy photos and all that. And then he took the plea. Obviously, all of that would have been shown in court in a trial. And I believe he was so ashamed too. That is one of the reasons he had that sealed. Yeah, he only made one open confession in Colorado. That's so true. He just, that night about Shanann and what he said, that was the actual only verbal confession he did, except when he just, at the sentencing, when they were throwing out his charges at him, he was like, yes, 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 yes. He was accepting all the charges, but he never verbally said he did everything right until they went to Wisconsin. Actually, I believe he was talking to Cato before he even talked to the detectives that went to Wisconsin to talk to him. I believe he had already told Cato. And then they were actually the second. So truly, Cato would be his second confession, if you look at it that way. Although they're pretty much close to the same. Yeah. Yeah, his actually his dad told me that. Ronnie told me that. Ronnie told me that when they went up to talk to Chris on the night before sentencing, his mom wanted to talk to him about the plea and they wouldn't let her. They said, no, we ain't going to talk about that or we'll shut it down. And Ronnie said that they asked his team why Chris was so adamant about taking this plea. And his team told them that it was the only way to save Chris's life. And his mom was like, well, they don't really do too many death penalty cases here, do they? And they said, well, it isn't going to matter because whether he takes one or all three, it doesn't matter. He pleads guilty to one or all of them. It's going to be the same charge. He's still going to get life in prison or the death penalty. That's why he's offered the plea. That is what Ronnie told me. Hello, Dave. How are you doing tonight? I agree. Nicole's more involved in this than some people want to believe. I believe that. Of course, there is some out there that think she's completely innocent and she's just the mistress. I don't believe that. If she was telling him to go fix his family, then why in the hell did she continue to intervene when he was in North Carolina with them? Why did she jump him when he wasn't immediately answering her texts and calls when he was with his family? Why would she say, "Oh, you're with her, aren't you?" It's obvious Nicole wanted Chris and wanted him to herself. All this jazz about her saying he should have fixed his marriage. He had a great life. That's horseshit. And maybe she was telling Chris that. Maybe she was. Manipulation 101. Just like when she was telling him that she had dates set up for the ball game, but they didn't show up, did they? That's because I don't believe she did. I believe she told him that to pull out that jealousy card and hoping it would work. I'm no fan of NK at all. And I do believe even if she didn't have any hands-on whatsoever, she was with Chris damn well long enough to know how childlike, easily manipulated he was, and how he follows orders. She was with him long enough to know all of those aspects about him. And she used that to her advantage. Whether she knew that she was planting seeds that he would actually do what he did, I don't know. However, she definitely used manipulation 101 with him. Who couldn't? A 10-year-old could do that with him. He had court-appointed attorneys, what I like to call public pretenders. Oh yeah, I mean look at what Amber Fry did, the one she wanted to compare herself to. Amber came out and apologized to the families, the victims' families. She apologized, even though she truly had no clue. She still made that public apology. She still felt remorse. She cried publicly. She hated Scott. She wore wires to get him to tell the truth. Amber worked in every way possible to help the victims. What did Nicole do? She almost threw up in her mouth when she even had to say Shanann's name. She openly admitted that she never wanted to, well, she didn't want to meet his kids. Knowing that she worked in safety or whatever it was, she absolutely knew what was inside those tanks and all that, and she never acted like it was even that bigger deal where them babies were cold, calculated, manipulative. And I better stop before YouTube gets on to me. But you know where I'm going with that. Right. You gave him the option, right? It was like, and I've said that in my videos. There's people listening to me right now that is the other woman, has been the other woman, or has a mistress that her old man's messing with, whatever. They're all out here, but not one of them can really relate with the way and how Nicole acted. Now, Sarah, I ask you, when you were the other woman, did you tell him to go fix his marriage? And if you did, you probably meant it, or you did it, whatever, just go fix your own marriage. It was either you meant it or you did it sarcastically. Well, obviously, Nicole did it sarcastically because she's telling him this, but yet she's sending him nudes by the thousands while he's supposed to be spending time with his family. That's right. That's right. Chris wasn't a protector. He wasn't. I mean, he just wasn't. He was a follower. Oh, yeah, she absolutely was. Absolutely. I hope she is too, Paula. I hope she's watching me too. I would love for her. I wish she would just come up on my panel because I'd love to talk to her. Because I'm not easily manipulated. I'm going to tell you that. And she damn sure ain't going to flirt with me. That ain't going to work either. What they do, Natalie, is after we upload a video or a live or anything like that, then it has to kind of run through their works. And you know how we have the captions come up? Well, they have like an automated thing, like a computer thing, and it just searches for certain words being said. And if any of these certain words are said, then they'll hit you. That's been happening to me today with my new playlist on the execution. Like all three of my videos were like, well, these are not community guidelines, they're violence and there's abuse. And I'm like, damn, I'm a true crime channel. We're not sitting around sipping lemonade and flying kites. That's right. He does. He has to be told what to do because he don't know what in the hell to do. He even said himself he hated being like a foreman or a boss or anything like that. because he had a hard time telling people what to do. He would mention it to them, and then if they slacked or something, instead of having to tell them again they needed to do it, he would just go do it himself. No, she couldn't. Absolutely not. She wouldn't even give him time to be with his family. He was having to go outside or go to his dad's or whatever, as long as he was texting and calling her the whole time he was there. But yet she tells him to go fix his marriage. Now, come on. Amen. Amen. You're right. If she really wanted him to work on the marriage, she wouldn't have said, I don't want to be second fiddle to your wife. You know, I want all of these first with you. Why do you think they went camping? Right? Why do you think they built a fire? Why? Because Nicole had this fetish and obsession with wanting to be his first with everything, right? Chris even said it in one of the letters to her. We're going to have many firsts together. Well, that is her mission. That's what she was doing. She was trying to do all of these things with him that could be his first. Okay? But she could never be his first wife or give him his first children. That is why she had such a come apart the night of the 11th after their date at Lazy Dog, just like he said, when she said, I wanted to give you your first son. Or no, the 14th, yeah. But he said the night after Lazy Dog, she was really, really talking about being able to give him his first son. She had this fetish with being first. Thank you so much, Florida. It was great to see you here tonight. I hadn't seen you in a long time. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, it is. It's 1:30 here. It's getting late. And I just posted the link again. Dave or Paula, if somebody wants to come up and talk, that would be great. Because you guys have some amazing ideas as well. I know people probably get tired of hearing mine. Aw, it's good to see you, sissy. I'm glad you caught me too, Laura. Well, we've been here for a good minute. We've been here, oh goodness, about almost 2 hours now. Wow. I didn't even schedule it. Like these pop-up lives, that's what I do. I'm so unpredictable. Yeah, sipping lemonade and flying kites, man. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, he wasn't planting seeds in his head. You wasn't, I want to be your first. I want to be your first. I'm not going to be second fiddle, you know. And I mean, I can even understand that to a point, right? I can even understand, really, I can. The other woman saying, look, I'm not going to play second fiddle. You need to make a choice. I can almost understand that being said as well. Truly. However, if he's going back to his family and you're telling him to fix his marriage, back the hell off. Don't come on stronger. Don't come on stronger with all these nudes saying, well, don't have too much fun there. Look what's waiting on you back here. because that's pretty much what the hell she was doing. Yes, it was good to see you, Lynette. Really good to see you. Good to see you, Shelly. Oh, so this is your first live with me? I don't do them that much, so I'm glad you're here. I told Randy, I said, instead of reading, I think I'm just going to go do a pop-up live. He said, well, go ahead, but everybody's in bed. And I said, well, maybe not. We're night owls. Some of us are. And we have Miss Paula. Hello, sweetheart.
Hello. I can't compete with your voice, but I wanted to come keep you company and talk about NK. Can you hear me okay? Can anybody hear me?
I just now heard you. I was like, I can't hear her. But you know what? Didn't have my ear things in. I hear you now. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I've been sitting here nearly 2 hours just talking to myself. I feel like I'm talking to myself, but I'm talking to the chat.
Oh, well, we all love to listen to you, that's for sure.
Thank you. I did not see the video. Is it recent? I haven't seen that. Do you know what that's Paula?
Yeah, he just posted it.
Oh, really? What is it? Is it about this?
Lynette might be able, I don't know, I think Lynette watched it. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but he just posted it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we're going to have to go look at that one.
I think it's only 3 minutes, 9 seconds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be definitely looking at that. It's only been up about 15 minutes.
Thank you, Cheryl.
It seems like NK was triggered by her childhood trauma and she paralyzed her childhood, and how her and her sister were the same age as Phil, encouraging Chris to make that same choice. It's hard to say. It really is. It's hard to say. I mean, I know she said that, but I don't know.
I just think if she just, like, maybe not Amber Fry like, but if she just came out, made some kind of statement, showed some kind of emotion,
something, yeah, something.
and ghosted us, I would have been okay with that. But nothing. We've heard nothing.
No, and she's never. What really? I don't know, man. When they said he actually asked her, "Do you know her name?" and she's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Well, can you say it?" And the way she said it, the way she said Shanann, it's like it almost just irked her to have to say her name.
I agree. It was hard to come out of her mouth.
Yeah. And that said a lot to me. I mean, at that point, Shanann was deceased and she knew it.
I think she did too.
And she just is disgusting. I'm sorry. I have no use for her.
Now, like I said in the chat, having an affair, it's not a crime. That's not a crime. You can, it happens all the time. Millions of people have affairs all the time.
Yeah.
But this was a quadruple homicide, and she was treated like I don't know what, like a queen or a victim or.
Oh God, she was given the victim card more than the victims were.
I agree.
I mean, really. And I'm not talking about the ultimate victims. I'm talking about the family of the victims, the families. They're victims too, the way I see it. And Nicole was almost treated like she was more special than them, which is disgusting. They were
Yes,
offering her everything. And Frankie was sitting there telling them how much hell he was having in his head. And he said, I think I need to maybe see somebody or get some help. And what did they tell him? Yeah, maybe you need to do that. They didn't sit there and offer him everything in the world. But yet, with Nicole, they said the number one priority now is your mental health. Really? Whose number one priority?
exactly. And like, I don't know what they do in the United States because I'm from Canada, but as soon as children are missing, there's an Amber Alert. It goes out, it comes to our phones, it comes to our computers, it comes to our highways, it comes everywhere.
Yes,
Like,
yes, they do that here too.
does that, oh, it does happen there? Okay, because
Yes.
I was wondering why there was never also, like, there was never an Amber Alert put out immediately.
Well, there was no vehicle involved. So they couldn't actually say, be on the lookout for this vehicle or that vehicle. That was the way I understood it when Chris asked, I think it was Coder, I think, or it could have been Baumover. I can't remember. He asked one of them, and that was the answer. There's no vehicle involved. And I thought it was kind of loose ended answers, but that was the answer.
Yeah, see, in here in Canada, it doesn't matter. The children's descriptions are put out, a recent pictures put out, even if there's not a vehicle involved or a possible suspect. It's just an automatic Amber Alert. Like, people actually complain about it in Canada because their phones start going like beep, 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 beep. And
Yeah,
I'm like, really? Like, it's an Amber Alert. Like, calm down. Like,
right.
look at it first, you
Oh,
know?
yeah. Our scream out. As far as that order placed that night, Melissa, I think it was confirmed. Pretty sure, because I know the detective said that they assumed that it was like an auto pay thing that she had, is why the card was declined that night. And I agree. If somebody that's innocent really has no reason to hide, and many people will say, well, I would hide too, you know. I mean, I would hide. Well, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
I would
No,
be more. No, I wouldn't. I would be if everything that she is saying was true. I would be like the Amber Fry. I would be supporting the families. I would feel like I owed an apology, whether I knew or not. There's no way she did not know that Shanann was pregnant. That's not possible. I will never buy that.
I don't either.
I mean, it shows she's been Googling them, especially when they were in North Carolina. She was constantly Googling Chris and Shanann. That's not possible. That's a lie. I will never believe that. That was a stupid lie on her part, too, as well, in my opinion. That was just a stupid lie.
And to knowingly get rid of possibly crucial evidence.
Yeah, exactly. He did not say anyone was in Colorado. He said he was not in Colorado with anyone, none of them. He wasn't saying they were there. I'm assuming that Lynette must be talking to somebody in chat.
I think that's a reply, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I can't, I watch her interviews and I've listened to her interviews and I can't get past them. I just can't.
Yeah, me either. And it's pretty obvious that she was all about a book deal and all this other stuff, right? Or she wouldn't have been Googling it. Why would she Google Amber's net worth? So she was definitely looking at the dollar signs behind this. Okay. Why hadn't she taken advantage of that? She could. Who wouldn't buy her? I would buy her book. I
Yeah,
think
I think
everybody
her
would.
daddy I think her daddy said no.
Yeah, something.
I think daddy said, no, no, you're not.
Yeah, you stay away from that. Do I think he has feelings, Chris? I think Chris is a very emotionless person, and I do not think he has the same compassionate and empathetic feelings. No, I do not. I have heard that he completely has turned his back on his family and then didn't even speak to them, and it never even faced him until he wanted to use it as one of the reasons that he was mad at Shanann. Okay, he should have spoken with Shanann about that years earlier. It's like it doesn't faze him like it would us to just mark somebody out of their life that's been there forever. You know, who can mark their parents out of their life and just move across the country and then not even speak to them anymore, answer their phone calls or their texts or anything just because our significant other doesn't like them? Really?
I think he was like, I think Chris was like, he was a follower for sure.
Absolutely.
And I think like family dysfunctions and things like that that go on happen every day. And I think he took some kind of comfort in, maybe, I don't know what's the right word I'm looking for here, being able to say, I'm on my own and I'm married and this is where I'm going to put my allegiance.
Right. Be real, the thing with that is, in order to be cleared, she would have had to been investigated. She wasn't. Nicole was only ever a witness. She was never a suspect to be investigated.
Correct.
So they kind of never really, quote unquote, cleared her. And I know a lot of people like to say that, especially Reddit. There's several groups online. They'll say, oh, Nicole was cleared. Well, how can you clear someone when you never investigate them? You
And then
can listen.
why
Yeah,
wouldn't
you.
we know?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Juan.
I'm sorry, Kim, but
No,
like,
no,
why
no.
wouldn't we know? If she was cleared, why wouldn't we know?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, she would have been. Show me where she was cleared. You know, that's what I tell people. Show me where is the proof that they investigated her at all so they could clear her. Yeah, they looked at her phone records. Those just raised more questions and made her look even more guilty. So there's no way the phone records could have cleared her. So show me where she was cleared. Her house wasn't searched. Her car wasn't searched. Her fingerprints were never taken. I mean, she was never investigated. Yeah, her
Oh,
apartment was watched, so they never went in it.
Lynette said they did take her DNA. They did take her DNA or fingerprints even, or did, I think she meant, did they?
No, they
Did
didn't. They did not. Now, they did take a water bottle from her one time, but at the same time, they said that a lot of people thought they were going to get her DNA from it. If they did, then they kept it a secret because it was never, ever said that she was ever looked into as any sort of suspect whatsoever. Ever. She was just a witness giving them information about her and Chris's dates for the most part. And yes, they got her phone records, but as I say, her phone records made her look a hell of a lot more guilty than innocent. Come on. She pinged in Frederick that morning. She didn't call Chris that morning at 7 a.m. like she had done for the last 2 months. It just so happened that morning she didn't.
Oh, be real. My name is Paula.
Oh, wow, Laura. Okay. I have a feeling I know who you're talking about. Yeah, we're going to have to go look at that.
What's that? What was it?
She said that Mark was talking about a certain creator, and she said, "Bravo, Mark." So, yeah, we're going to have to go check out that video.
Hi, be real. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna watch it.
Reddit gets on my nerves sometimes. I
So
don't
would mine
ever
too.
go over there except just to drop a video because then, I don't know, they just get on my nerves.
It gets on my nerves too. It's too much. I don't know. I mean, I have theories too, but I don't throw them out. You know what I mean? I don't just.
Right, right. And you're right too, Sarah. You know what? I know where I'm from, there's a thing called falsifying a police report. There's a thing called perjury. Those things are completely obvious in Nicole's interviews. The report she made and the answers she gave as a witness were easily, with her own phone records, proven to be a lot of lies in there. Here, you'll be arrested for that. Casey Anthony was arrested for lying to the law enforcement. What is so odd about this case is there was so many that they did find out that was lying. Trent, they said they figured out he was full of shit, right? The Amanda chick, Nicole, and her lies. Nobody was arrested or charged with anything in all this, period.
They had
Except Chris.
that was it.
Nobody.
Yep, it was Chris, and that was it.
Yeah, but they could have charged at least 3 more for falsifying police reports, if nothing else, right? At least 3 more. That would be Trent, Amanda, and Nicole. All of them proved to lie in their police reports, yet none of them was reprimanded in no sort of way whatsoever.
And Rourke gets on my nerves. I'm sorry, but he just does. He looked like
Mark,
he's shady. He's shady.
I don't
Rourke.
even know. Oh, Rourke. Oh my God. Rourke is shady. Yes, honey. Good Lord. I made it. Yeah, I was talking about him the other day. And I showed, what some other attorneys had to say about him as well. They all said he was shady.
Like he doesn't even look like he's telling the truth.
No, he doesn't. And the first thing he says is, yeah, well, Nicole hindered the investigation. Hello, Roy, isn't that a charge? Yeah,
Exactly.
come on, you said it.
Out loud.
Yeah, and Mark also said that he had Chris, a pro bono attorney, a high-profile pro bono attorney, right? So why is Lana and Kim in Colorado attorney shopping? I don't get that.
I can't with them. I just can't.
That don't make any sense, does it? And Mark can't stand Kim. What is the deal? If Mark's on his visiting list and Chris has been taken, or Kim's been taken off of his list, then what's up? It
She
doesn't make
gone.
sense. Yeah. Oh yeah, she's gone. And Mark's added. So it seems like he's ditched Kim for Mark.
Well, maybe Mark has been behind the scenes doing some good stuff that we don't know about. I'm gonna watch that video later, but
Yeah, I'm going to go check it out too.
if you're paying for whose channel, please stop.
Yeah, because she's going to continue on. She definitely will. Blowing smoke, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, when you've already seen the proof in front of you that Chris has already threw her and kicked her to the curb, let that be telling you, hey, don't be paying this woman no more money. Really. I mean, if you just want to look at her stuff and laugh about her, whatever, but you better take what she's saying with a grain of salt.
Mark said he has not tried to be in there since months ago. Well, that would make sense because Kim was in there. I wouldn't want to be in there either.
Melissa, I'm going to have to be straight up honest with you on that. I don't believe there was an explosion theory. I do not. I know many people do, but I'm well known for my unpopular opinion, and I do not take any sort of thought into that at all. I believe if Chris wanted to do an explosion, he would have did it. Period. And I don't think he would have, if anybody messed it up, he would have done that explosion, period, if he had planned to. So the explosion thing, I just don't, I don't believe it. I mean, it's not one of my theories.
The Survey 319 explosion or the house explosion?
Either one. Either one. I mean, if he was going to explode the house, he would have did it. And same with Serby. I mean, he just would have did it. So I just can't buy that. And I know there's a lot of money with the whole Lana Darko and all of that, but I believe it. My thing is, I think it was going to be more of he was just going to try to make them disappear and make it look like Shanann went off the deep end and just hauled ass.
Well, the only thing
that's more where I'm going.
I'm sorry, Kim.
Because if their bodies are not found in an XX amount of time, I can't remember. I want to say 5 years, but if they're never found within that length of time, they can go ahead and collect on insurance. Because they will be considered dead. As far as the explosion, I've never believed that. And a lot of people do. And that's okay, because that's all we've got out here is theories. But that's personally not one of mine.
No, the only thing that bothered me about that was the leak. Like, the weekend guy was there, saw the leak, took a picture of it, sent it to Chris Watts. Why not just fix it?
Have you ever seen the picture of the leak?
Well, I seen a picture of what looks like a leak.
Right.
I don't know if it's true.
I don't think there was actually ever a leak. I think they just said that and was setting it up. Troy, I think he's sketchy. But I don't feel Troy had, I personally don't think Troy had nothing to do with nothing. Troy was actually recently on a podcast talking, and he briefly mentioned the Watts, but not much. He's actually a gamer. He's actually doing that almost for a living now. I don't know if everybody's aware of that, but he is. He's just an online gamer.
Well, nothing wrong with that.
No, I mean, my son does that too, but for a long time, I thought Troy something was weird with him. Very weird. And still it could be, but I don't think the explosion thing, that's not one of my theories. Everybody that believes it, that's cool.
Hopefully he's not thriving anymore, though.
Yeah, no kidding. There you go. Nope. You shouldn't have to, man. That's what we do. We just get in here, we talk about things, kill some time, burn some time, and that's it. You shouldn't have to pay to say your opinion. Come on.
No, that's ridiculous.
It really is, and it's all kinds of wrong. Yeah, I heard that Lana was Jamie's friend too, and I heard that from a very reliable source, and Kelly as well.
Wasn't Lana once Lana's friend, Jamie's friend, or was it Lana that was actually Jamie's friend? Because I think that was,
I think it
I
was
heard that
Kelly.
Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly. And there's a lady named Mel, Mel. She's a friend too. Thank you, Be Real. I appreciate that. The only thing about the explosion theory is how would he get those children out of the Lexus? He would have to explain that because I will never believe that he would harm the children. That's right. I mean, he would. He would have to, yeah, that would have to be explained.
I don't think the children were, sorry, part of the plan.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on Reddit too. And it also showed her son wearing a bracelet. And so her son, it's probably the same ones you're talking about. And her son is actually the one that helped her reenact the quote unquote murder scene, which I thought was very tacky that she got her son to help her reenact that for photos.
Oh, I fell for it a year ago. I have to admit, I fell for it for about a week and a half.
Did you? Well, I
I
mean,
did.
it's easily done. It's easily done.
I was in quarantine and I had nothing better to watch, if that's any excuse for anybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lord, this quarantine's done got us all to where we're in all kind of stuff. We got 100 theories running through our heads.
It's
And
because
nobody's never going to know. He's never going to tell the truth.
yeah, truth is not out there yet. That's why.
Mm-mm. No, it's not. I think he gives little parts of everything. Like he drops little subtle hints in everything he says, but he will not come out and just say it. And I don't think he ever will.
I don't think so either. It's my belief. It's just my personal belief. But he's protecting. I think he's protecting himself, but I also think he's protecting some other people.
Email me a screenshot. Oh goodness, what was it? A screenshot of what? I'm sorry, honey, I didn't see it. I will check it out. I will do that.
What is it? I want it too. I
I
love
don't know.
photos.
No, I will go see real quick. Let me see. I'm bad about checking my email. Let's see. Oh, okay. Alrighty. Let me save this and I can put it on screen if everybody wants to see it.
Yes,
If
please.
yeah, if Ashley doesn't mind, I don't think she will.
Do you mind, Ashley? No? Yes?
Okay, hang on just a sec, Paul, and I'll get it up here.
Okay. Let's see. If the explosion theory had taken place, and put a stop to like got the name, doesn't make sense of how we're going to explain it. Yeah, I don't know either. We're just waiting on the share. It's okay, right, Ashley? Doesn't cost money, just $1. Is that April? Is that what you mean? Just $1 for what? $1 is $1.
Okay, let me see if I can make it bigger. Can y'all see it?
I can. Oh, welcome, Be Real. Welcome. That's perfect.
All right, this is the newest rumors that's going around. It says apparently Jay and Lana flew to Colorado last night, but not for an attorney. Not for an attorney. Well, see, I heard it was for an attorney. Isn't that what you heard, Paula?
That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And number 2, Lana is Kelly's cousin. Kelly is Jamie's friend. Oh, welcome to membership, Be Real. Welcome to Team UnJustified. Don't forget our Wednesday night members only lives.
I forgot that part.
Yeah, last week we talked about starting on part 1, Discovery 101. We're just going to go through it and break it down hardcore each week. Okay, it says number 3, Ronnie is in rehab. We done talked about that one tonight. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. I would be in Colorado rehab, but Chris wants to put protective orders on his family. Okay, now this one was kind of odd to me because I heard that he was going to put the protective orders out so Kim couldn't bother his family. After thinking about that, I was like, how could that be? Wouldn't his family have to put those orders if they needed protection against Kim? It wouldn't be Chris to put those orders into place, right? His family would have to do that.
Okay, Mama Kim, people don't know who Kelly is.
I wished I could tell you. I don't know who Kelly is either. That's a brand new name to me as well. Ain't gonna lie to you. I just got this list myself. Like, hang on, my dogs are gonna argue.
No.
Let me
No.
put my dogs out. I'll be right back.
Oh, no, Lynette, are you thinking of Unmurdered? That's, no. Where's Dave? Unmasked is Teresa S. and, oh my goodness, I forget her name. She's beautiful. She's really nice. No, not CDT either. Teresa? Vanessa. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, they have really good lives. Thank you, Octavia. And Kelly is CDT, yeah. So it's not that Kelly. I highly doubt it's that Kelly. No. I'm not even gonna say that out loud. No, I don't think so either, Lynette. She wouldn't hang out with that for sure. Just can't do it. You're welcome, Be Real. UnJustified, yes, it would have to be each individual that requests their own protective orders. Chris can't do it for them. I'll wait till Kim gets back. I don't know this information. This is breaking news, so we're just waiting. Yeah, Kelly is really sweet. CDT is awesome. And Vanessa and Teresa are great people. Doesn't Vanessa shorten her name to Nessa, if I'm not mistaken? Nessa and Teresa. Oh, thank you, Lynette. You're good peeps too.
So sorry
Okay,
about that. I have
that's
two
okay.
little dogs, and they get so jealous of each other. One's trying to get my lap, the other one wants my lap. They do that. But I was thinking while I was letting them out, Kelly, I'm still there. I don't know if y'all moved past that, but
Oh,
Kelly, the only Kelly I know is that one that creator that has that channel, that advocate, and I'm pretty sure that's not the Kelly they're talking about here.
oh, CDT? No.
No. It's a Kelly the Advocate. It's a whole different channel there. They don't even come to our channels, and definitely not CDT. So I have no idea who this would be.
Me either.
A lot of people thought I was the one that was on Chris's visiting list at one point. They thought I was Kim Griffith. I'm like, no, definitely not.
Would you go see him, Kim? Just for
Would I go
for
visit Chris?
yeah,
Right,
just for funsies.
you
I'm just
damn
asking.
straight up. Yes, I would. I would love to look him in the eye and talk to him. Yes, I would. I would love to interview Chris because
Sorry,
I believe I could get him to talk.
I think you could too. But I got you off track there. Sorry. Kelly?
I would totally. And some people may look down on me for saying that. You would go see Chris? Yes, I would in a minute.
I would too in a heartbeat.
I would love to interview him. I mean, his family, if he's anything like his dad, and I believe he is, then Chris would talk to me.
Probably wouldn't talk to me, but I would try.
I don't know. He may. He may. Okay, number 4. Oh, yeah, about the protective orders on his family. If this is written exactly the way it is meant to be, then that would mean, from the way I'm reading it, and I could be wrong, but it looks to me like the only way Chris could, and his family, when you put those two together, Chris putting it out, that looks like he is forbidding his family from contacting or seeing or visiting him. That's the way I'm reading that.
Me too. And Cheryl Stone made a good statement. I'm echoing on you, but up above, she said that yes, it would have to be each individual that requests their own protective orders. Chris can't do it for them.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, they have to do it themselves, and it's hard to get a protective order, just in all honesty. You have to prove why you need protection from a certain person. You have to show proof of why you need that. So you can't just call and say, hey, I don't want Kim talking to my family no more. I mean, he can't do that. So
His family's still on the visitors list, though.
yeah, I know, but that was February the 12th. And from what I've understood is it was recently, like within the last few days, that him and Jamie had their falling out. So I don't know. I have asked. I just haven't gotten a reply yet. see, 4 days ago. So, see, that was 4 days ago. Jamie and Chris had a horrible confrontation about Chris not caring that Ronnie is in rehab. She is blaming him. Prison cut the Zoom call. So she could be blaming him. Look, it's your fault. You done this. Dad's went off the deep end again. I can see that happening. I can't. I mean, really, from the outside looking in. If Ronnie went off the deep end, and, I can see her maybe blaming him because remember what Ronnie did before when Chris left. So, but 4 days ago, that would have been hitting around the 12th. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's wanting to put in a protective order and get them off of his visiting list. I don't know. I mean, why would he need a protection order from anyone except who is on his list?
This is puzzling. This is very puzzling.
Yeah, because you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to Walmart. I'm going to stop by and see Chris a while. No, you have to be on that list. You can't just make a pit stop and see him.
That I was going to see Manson.
Yeah. Yeah.
When she was 16. Oh, no.
Yeah. We're just going to stop off by here and see Chris, see how he's doing. It just don't work that way. Chris does not want the 35C. I think we've talked about that tonight. I think Chris does want the 35C, but I think the stipulation of him actually getting a 35C is for him to have to be transferred back to Colorado, which is the one that holds the jurisdiction of his case. So for his case to be retried, he has to go back to the original jurisdiction, which is Colorado. And that would hit down here on number 9, where it says Chris was about to be transferred back to Colorado. The warden and the DA had some kind of evidence that there would be a hit or something put on him, so he does not want to go.
I believe that.
So see, those two kind of go together. Like, he was all wanting this 35C, but then when he found out he would have to go back there to get it, he was like, wait a minute, I don't want it then. Or something. Because he could sit there for 3 years before he actually gets into another trial, even if he is granted.
And he wouldn't make it 3 years.
Absolutely not.
Somebody would off him by then.
Absolutely. And Chris removed KK. Chris is losing it out there. Well, poor little Chris.
You can't feel bad there, but
yeah, I mean, I don't feel bad for him. He put himself where he's at. Hello, Megan. Good to see you. I don't believe he can get a protection order when he's in prison. He just has to remove all contact provisions. For who doesn't? That's what I'm saying, Cheryl. I mean, why would he need a protection order against the people on the outside? That is the whole point of him being on the inside, is he can't have socialization except over the phone or something like that. And it's not like they can even call him anyway. He has to call them. So a protection order, it just doesn't make sense. At the same time, some people has been saying that he's trying to get the protection order for his family against Kim, which there again, in my opinion, doesn't make sense, because his family would have to order that themselves, not him.
And why is Ronnie in rehab in Colorado?
Yeah, before you got in, we was talking about that one. And a lot of times it is true. When people go to rehab, they do put them in a different state, to try to get them away from it. It just happens that way. However, Colorado has called him trauma issues. He has a past in Colorado that's not a happy one. So that would completely be going against him being able to heal, being in a place where he already has past issues. So see, that just doesn't make sense to me either. I personally do not think for 1 second that if he is in Colorado, it is for rehab. If he's in rehab, I believe he would be probably in North Carolina, because I believe it would be a self-admitted voluntary kind of rehab, not an intervention, you gotta go kind of thing.
You know what? It seems to me like every time this case starts to just like we start to get on some kind of a level field, something comes right at a left field, and here we go again. We're back up in arms over it. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
Good Lord.
Absolutely. Every time I try to walk away and start doing something else comes up, and that's it's just it's never ending. It's like I said last night, it's like a tornado. Sucks you up in it, and every time it starts to let you down, it just pulls you right back in it. Yes, Charles Manson is one of the cases that I was truly fascinated with since I was little, like young. Yeah, I think it was Charles Manson. A lot of people think it was that because of the Sharon Tate and the whole Beatles and all of the high profile people that was involved in it, as well as I also have my possible thinkings that it was also a lot of it was a cover up for Watergate and media. They were using him and not putting so much of that out there.
There was another serial killer that I was interested in that the FBI started their first behavioral science profiling.
Oh, somebody.
Mr. Unjustified.
Oh, was it? Okay. Thank you, Randy. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Kemp? Was that his name? Kemp?
His name is Randy.
No, not your husband. The serial killer where the FBI started their behavioral science unit. Was it Kemp or was it the Zodiac? I can't even remember anymore.
I can't remember. I cannot remember.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning here.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning. It does, Megan. It does. And the way and your theory, you don't know how much I have thought on your theory this week. Like, it's just been there in my head so hard.
Thank you, Lynette. And yes, I agree with Megan too. I've been thinking about it. Because there's so much stuff going on in the world that we're not looking at. So much.
Lynette, that's one of the first books I ever read. I can still see that book in my mind. Yes, that old black paperback book with the red words on it. That's one of the first books I ever read. It's crazy, like 10 years old.
I thought it was To Be Real. I thought it was the Zodiac, but I could be wrong. I thought they caught the Zodiac killer because of Count.
Yes. Yes, I believe you're right. New Zealand. Wow, that's a long way. How you doing tonight, Linda? Or today? It's day where you're at, I think. Yes. Y'all know that new on the Lifetime is coming out next month. The Sales Secrets. Remember the big controversy over that? It's going to be Dylan and Chris. And what was her name? Krista? I think it was Krista or Christy. I think she goes by both. But she had flew out and helped them film that.
I'm sorry, I'm lost. That was the show I watched, yes, at Mindhunters. I'm lost, Kim. I'm sorry. I don't know where we're at anymore. Maybe maybe I should jump back down into chat. Let somebody else have a chat with you.
All I ask is that people hear me out and look at the case from different perspectives because not everything is what it appears to be. Yes,
correct.
I know, Megan. That's what I have been thinking about all week. It's the things you have brought to the surface is there's no denying them. That's a fact. I don't know, Ashley. All I know is I think Dylan and Krista said it was going to be in March that it would be airing. The Green River Killer. I made a video on that in my true crime bedtime story playlist. Yes, that is.
Stories.
Yeah, that was a crazy one. Yes. My granddaughter's little friend, she's like 16, I think. She is obsessed with Richard Ramirez.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. I mean, really obsessed with him. She thinks he is good looking, all this. And I'm like, oh my God. That's scary for her to be obsessed with him.
Lord, and he even stayed at the Cecil Hotel.
Oh my God. He's horrible. Cheryl, it's going to be called, I think it's Cell Secrets, and they've already done one series on it on Lifetime, I believe, and it was the Jodi Arias one. And then the next one is supposed to be Chris and Dylan. That's what Dylan said, and that's what Chris does. She actually flew out and helped them do the filming of it.
Okay, may I please ask, what is this about? There's going to be a Lifetime movie about what?
There's this little thing on Lifetime. It's like a series of different cellmates, and I think it's high profile criminals. And they did one so far, and it's on Jodi Arias. It's called Cellmate Secrets. I think it's what it's called, or Cell Secrets, one of the two. And Jodi Arias, hers has already been done, but the next one that's supposed to air in March, it's already been filmed, is Chris and the guy Dylan that helped write him, helped him write that book.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Yeah. And it's
So I can't get Lifetime here in Canada, and I can't get HBO.
Really?
No, well, I had to. Well, I could if I pay like $300 for cable, but I'm not going to do that.
Oh my God. Well, that's crazy. I will try to get it. I try to put them on my Facebook group, and do like a live show with everybody because a lot of people doesn't have it.
Oh, I would love that.
So yeah, when it comes out, I will dang sure let you know, and I will put it there for you, and for everybody that wants to watch it and can't. I haven't seen Night Stalker yet, but I really want to watch that. I really do.
It's so good. It's
Is
so
it?
good. Yes, it is. It was well done. It was a well done documentary.
I have got to watch that. Okay, Be Real says it's going to be February the 27th at 6 p.m. Great. Okay, thank you for letting us know that. Because I think Dylan said it was going to air in March, but that's pretty close. So, yeah, I want to see that. I'm going to watch that tomorrow because Saturdays or today, I don't work on Saturdays. I don't come in here in my office. I just, hang out with the fam, and I want to watch that tomorrow. I want to see it.
Yeah, Megan, I agree. The reason why nothing adds up in this case is because it's not supposed to. I'm starting to agree with you more and more and more.
I know, right, Paula? I know. I've been thinking about Megan all week.
Because if you think about it, if we're looking to the right so much, we're not looking to the left to see what's actually going on.
Yeah. I mean, we're
We're
looking
putting,
at the obvious.
yeah, we're not like, we're not looking at what we're supposed to be looking at. Like, whatever. I'm not going to get into all that here, but you know what I'm saying.
No, it's okay. Really, it is. It's fine. And it's so fine. Megan, I just dropped a link.
Hey, come on
Oh,
up, Megan, and I
talk.
can go back down. It's 3:30 a.m. here.
Yeah, it is here. Well, it's 2:30 here. Yeah, won't be here much longer, but Megan's, man, I've been looking at her videos and I was like, you cannot deny what she's saying here.
You
She's
can't.
not making things up either. What she's saying is fact.
Yes, be real. The night, you're right. The night is young, but I'm on panel. I'm trying to keep my thoughts and wits about me here. They leave us with more I know. The discovery is Swiss cheese. I know you. No disrespect to you, Mama Kim, but it's just
Oh, it is.
like
It
a
actually
puzzle.
is. And there's so much useless stuff in it, really. And they just take little pieces away and then they'll put something like a blank page back in. It's going to stay 169 pages. However, those 169 pages are not always the same.
Like I don't read books, but imagine you reading a book and there's like, you know, page 20 is gone and page 56 is gone and page
Yeah,
96 is gone. Like, how are you going to finish the book? You
exactly.
can't.
You can't. All you have left with is theories and possibilities and what ifs, and they gave us so much, but then at the same time they gave us just enough to where we don't have anything. You know what I mean? I mean, they gave us just enough to have more answers than anything, more questions than
I
anything.
love what Mr. Cher's going to do. Like, he's going to do like a documentary on how it's affected us. And he wants audio, and I can't put my words together to give it to him, but I want to do it because I think it's a good idea. This case has affected us all.
Absolutely. It really has. It sucks you in like a damn magnet and it won't let you go. I have never stayed awake till almost 3 in the morning to listen to a live YouTube channel. I always do that on replay. Well, thank you for staying with us, Sarah. I have never done a 3-hour live either, but I just did.
It's awesome. I love it.
Man,
Lynette,
I can't believe I did either.
what tool? What tool? What tool? Like a video, my photography stuff. Your comment came in at 3:33. Ooh. Don't you have a tool? What tool?
They
Hold
thought
on.
it was important enough to let us know that Chris searched and 2 volcanoes, but didn't think it was important enough. Ask him why he searched for those things in his interviews. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They even showed us a picture of one of the volcanoes. Like, and they didn't ask him either. Okay. All right. Sounds good. We need some fun projects. Sure, you can come up here, you can email me, or just whatever, Dorothy. Sounds good. I can't tell you if they intentionally left a bunch out or if they actually thought they were giving us enough so it looked like a complete case. Well, I think they intentionally left it out because there was a lot there when it was first released. It was over 2,000 pages. And then they started redacting from it, and now it's 1969, where they've left it at that amount. However, you can go, if you have like one from, I don't know, the beginning of 169 pages, and then you get the one today of 169 pages, the original one you got has more information in it, and the newer one's going to have like just randomness. Like some of it's even a blank page with just a page number on it. Like they're keeping the page amounts the same, but they're taking away information that they're giving us. Like, what was it? There was a picture of the chicken breast, right? It was there. Now it's not. So there's several other things that was actually in the discovery that's not there anymore. Oh, it's 11 hours from here. Go, I bet. Ugh. Yep. I don't think I would go either. The majority of what they put in that discovery means something other than what it's being portrayed as. I believe that. I do. And this discovery that I'm reading is different than what a lot of people's got today. I've had several people, well, that's not in my discovery, or I don't have that in my discovery. Well, then you've got one that, has came out since I had mine. I like how they call Lives Read like an actual script with directions from an actor. I know. 9:35 a.m. Chris makes stage call to. Yes, it does. It sounds like you're reading a book, or like you say, a script. It's like everybody has their own role. It's crazy. I mean, I'm reading the discovery on the channel, right? And you would think, just like I thought before I ever read it, this is going to be the most boring thing in the world. It's going to be a bunch of legal stuff. It's going to be like those emotions I'm reading. But when you start reading it, it's like a damn book. It really is. It's like you're reading a book. What happens next? Who's doing what? It is. It just is. Okay, y'all. I think I've been here long enough. 3 hours. Oh my goodness. 109 people.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's just wow. And I know everybody's so tired. Oh, look at Laura. How sweet is that? Thank you, sweetheart. I got to go to bed too, honey. Thank you for being with us. I'm glad you made one. I don't do this often. And Paula, thanks for keeping me company up here. Everybody in chat.
Much love. I'm going to go back down.
Okay, honey. Thank you for being up here with me.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. I hope I didn't step on any other creators. Thank you, Ashley. Any other creators' toes tonight. Bounce up in here on top of somebody, because I usually look, but I didn't tonight. I just come up in here and did it anyway. So if I did, I apologize for that. But I want to thank you all for being here with me, keeping me company tonight. I appreciate it. I had fun. Talked about a lot of stuff. You guys are awesome. And until next time, this is UnJustified.